Let's kick off today's explainer. If you've ever felt like your support team is literally just drowning in repetitive chat messages and endless, mind-numbing status updates, well, you are absolutely in the right place today. We're going to look at how to transform Slack. We're taking it from a simple chat app to a highly efficient automated support operations layer. Let's get into it.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the cost of context switching. Then, we're jumping right into starting with Workflow Builder, building an incident workflow, and connecting external support tools. Finally, we'll wrap up with a real-world scenario, an automated on-call handoff. All right, Section 1, the cost of context switching and why manual triage burns out support teams. Because let's be real, we've all felt the absolute pain of chaotic, manual incident reporting.
Take a look at this number, 12 minutes. Research actually shows that a typical incident response takes 12 whole minutes of pure logistics before any actual troubleshooting even begins. Think about that. An alert fires, someone checks PagerDuty to see who's on call, opens Datadog for metrics, creates a dedicated Slack channel, spins up a Google Doc for notes, and then finally creates a Jira ticket. That's 12 minutes of the customer just waiting, and stakeholders sitting in the dark, usually assuming the absolute worst. Now, compare that painful reality, hunting down engineers, frantically copy-pasting details across a dozen tabs, with the ideal state. Imagine an automated workflow where one single form instantly routes every critical detail to the exact right people and the exact right platforms. It's like night and day.
But you might be wondering, is it really worth the time to build these automations? Well, look at this. The company Grab saves up to 150 minutes every single day just by automating one routine IT task, managing channel requests. That's over 2 hours a day. And the security platform Snek, they save about 8,300 hours every month by using automated workflows for support escalations. I mean, the time savings here are absolutely massive.
Which brings us right to Section 2, starting with Workflow Builder, navigating to the canvas, and choosing a trigger. I highly recommend popping open Slack's free sandbox or a demo workspace right now so you can follow along with me. Opening it up on the desktop app is incredibly simple. Step 1, just look at your sidebar and click Tools. If you don't see it there, check under Automations. Step 2, under Workflows, click New in the top right corner. In Step 3, select Build Workflow. Boom! You're instantly looking at a blank canvas, ready to be customized without writing a single line of code. No programming degree required. So, the absolute most crucial thing to know is that every single automation needs a starting line. We call that a trigger. And you have some really flexible options here. You can kick off a workflow from a shared link or on a set schedule, like, say, every morning at 9 a.m. You can even trigger it when someone uses a specific emoji reaction on a message. Seriously. You can also trigger it from a form submission or when a certain keyword gets posted. The beauty of this is that your automations happen naturally, exactly where your team is already hanging out and working.
All right, moving into Section 3, building an incident workflow, adding steps, and collecting details. This is the fun part, where we actually start snapping all these functional building blocks together.
Before we start building, though, let's get our terms straight. A workflow step is basically just a building block. It takes a specific action, either inside or outside of Slack, and it executes in the exact order that you set up. Once that initial trigger is pulled, these steps just run sequentially and do all the heavy lifting for you. It's like dominoes falling. So let's say we choose the Collect Info in a Form step. A little configuration panel is going to pop right up. Here is where you define exactly what information you need. You set the title, a description, and your specific input fields. And this is a total game changer, because instead of an engineer pinging someone back and forth begging for more context, this form forces the submitter to provide the exact details you need right up front. We're talking severity, affected services, a clear description, the whole shebang. Now watch closely, because this is where the magic really happens. Notice the brackets around Answer to Details. That right there is a variable. When a user fills out our form, Slack dynamically saves whatever they typed as a variable. That means we can pull that exact text and just drop it straight into our automated messages, or even external tickets, later on in the workflow. It is literally how data flows flawlessly from a human brain straight into your automated systems.
Okay, let's move right along to Section 4, connecting external support tools. This is where we bridge the gap between Slack and your entire tech stack, and things get really powerful.
Get this, Slack recently rolled out over 65 new built-in connectors for partner apps.
65. This means you can interact with external tools directly from the Workflow Builder canvas, and it requires absolutely zero code to configure. None. Your Slack workspace effectively transforms into a true orchestration layer for your whole company. By using these connectors, a single Slack workflow can orchestrate your entire tech stack all at once. For example, you can have a PagerDuty step that declares an incident and automatically pages the on-call engineer. Then, literally in the very next step, a Jira connector creates a perfectly tracked issue. Right after that, an Asana connector updates a project board. Think about it. One trigger, and your entire stack is aligned in a matter of seconds.
If we zoom in on the PagerDuty connector panel, just as an example, you can see exactly how you'd set this up. You just connect your account, and then you map those form variables we captured earlier. You select the specific service, pick the escalation policy, and dynamically pass through the priority level the user selected. It completely removes all that manual, error-prone data entry from the equation. No more typos.
All right, let's bring it all together in Section 5. We're looking at a real-world scenario, an automated on-call handoff. We are going to build a seamless transition for engineers when they are changing shifts.
I want you to think about this question. How do we automate an on-call handoff that cleanly collects the current shift status and then automatically posts it to a dedicated channel? If your shift handovers right now involve engineers just endlessly scrolling through messy chat threads trying to figure out what's currently on fire, well, this is going to change everything for you.
So let's trace the sequential life cycle of this workflow. Step 1. The outgoing engineer clicks a specific emoji reaction on an automated daily reminder message. Boom, that's our trigger. Step 2. An action instantly fires off, giving them a quick pop-up form. Step 3. They type in their handover notes, and those are collected as our variables. And finally, Step 4. The workflow takes those variables and automatically posts a beautifully formatted summary right into a dedicated channel, like your main incidents channel.
To finish this whole thing up in the builder, you just add the send a message to a channel step. You select your dedicated channel, let's just call it the on-call handoff channel, then you insert your collected variables into the message body so it looks perfect, and you hit that big publish button. And that's it. The workflow is now live, it's standardized, and it's infinitely repeatable.
Now, why does all this matter? Well, just look at the impact. When teams actually implement this kind of Slack-native support infrastructure, the results are honestly staggering. Data shows a 32% reduction in overall email volume and a 27% drop in unnecessary meetings, not to mention a massive 40% increase in tickets handled per agent. You're literally eliminating the manual toil so your team can finally just focus on the actual engineering.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. The tools are sitting right there in your Slack sidebar. They are completely code-free, and they're just waiting to be used. Think about your own day-to-day routine. What repetitive manual task are you going to automate today? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Now seriously, go open up that sandbox and start transforming your workspace.